because there is the first trans representative in Congress now, Sarah McBride, from Delaware, 34 years old. Because there is the first trans person, Nancy Mace is freaking out. Representative Nancy Mace, who, remember, once wanted to get punched in the face on January 6th. And I really, I could have used that footage. Like, look, I haven't, it's hard to like get in the mood sometimes. You know what I mean? When you're just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like not feeling sexy. Nothing's like turning me on lately. But like, if we had the footage of Nancy Mace getting punched in the face, I'd just been like, that would really get me there. The point is this: Nancy Mace is introducing legislation so that basically trans people cannot use the bathroom of their gender, i.e., one trans woman cannot use the bathroom of her gender, which is it actually just kind of fun to imagine. I mean, it's awful for Sarah McBride, but like kind of fun to imagine her going in the men's bathroom next to all these like representatives. First of all, like, she could learn a lot. Like, she should, first of all, bug the shit out of the restroom, girl. Number one. Because there's going to be a lot more than just whatever Matt Gaetz is showing to other representatives on his phone. But Nancy Mace is now here and doing the hard work, like real populist. Just really answering the call of the populists, right? Just a populist right. And like, why can't we do that on the left, is be populist by putting a hand-drawn paper sign over the women's restroom, just one women's restroom, that says, yay, Office of Nancy Mace. Look at you, girl. Look at this. TERFs welcome. Yes. Take it away. You know what I'm saying? I've been on this side. You guys, I am on record with saying, take their vaginas away. You know what I mean? You get it revoked. You get it revoked. You have a perfectly good one, likely. And clearly very pristine, considering how angry she is. And you just get it taken away. You got to give it up. Give it up. Strap on a dick. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Or just nothing. Just be like a smooth, Barbie situation, Ken doll, whatever. I'm just like, you're out of the gender. You're out of the gender. I don't accept you. Goodbye. Just some sort of Heidi Klum ass way we can project woman this whole thing, because I don't want to have anything to do with that. That does not represent me or women that I know. But it sure as shit doesn't represent Americans. Like, this is your first order of business. I can't believe this. And I know Nancy Mace exists to just be like a performative troll. That's what they all exist for. That's all it is. When do we secede from the nation, people? And Brian Garcia, thank you for your super chat. It is Trans Day of Remembrance. As we remember and mourn those who have lost their lives for being trans, no one deserves to leave this planet for having the courage to live their life authentically. Thank you, Brian, and thanks. And yes, it is Trans Day of Remembrance, and we should remember that. And we remember that on the left, and as progressives and liberals and leftists and honestly whomever, by standing with trans people and standing up for trans rights and not backing down from that. I'm not saying it's like the central pillar of your entire political life. I'm just saying you put it together with a broad plans and strategies and visions to expand civil rights and human rights for all people, for all Americans. And work, it's part of that buffet of being on the right side of history. and actually working so that we don't live in fear from one another and people don't take their own lives or hurt and maim one another and people don't have to live in the fucking shadows. So anyway, but Sarah McBride had this comment. So again, this is the Delawarean. Oof, that makes sense. Delawit? That doesn't make sense. Delawite. I like Delawite. Sounds like sort of debut. Anyway, Sarah McBride said, I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to fight about Delawareans and to bring down costs facing families. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them. The effort to distract from the real issues facing this country hasn't distracted me over the last several days, as I, remained hard at work preparing to represent the greatest state in the union. Well, debatable. Okay, come January. You did give us Joe Biden. So, serving in the 119th Congress will be an honor of my lifetime, and I continue to look forward to getting to know my future colleagues on both sides of the aisle. Each of us were sent here because voters saw something in us that they value, and I have loved getting to see those qualities in the future colleagues that I have met, and I look forward to seeing those qualities in every member come January. I hope all my colleagues will seek to do the same with me. Now, I saw some people mad about this statement. And I said it yesterday, but I actually like this statement. And not because I think that she is like, I don't think it's the bravest stance, obviously. She's not trying to burn it all down before even setting foot, being sworn in into Congress yet. And who knows what this could mean for her physical safety, for anything. I mean, again, I said it jokingly, but my guess is the idea of her going to the men's bathroom isn't necessarily safe, especially with the kinds of people that run this fucking country. But I do like that she is reframing the entire thing to point out how pitiful and small-minded and ridiculous it is to pass a congressional bathroom bill when, yes, people around this country are struggling and suffering and have very little hope in the future, right, for their futures. I just feel like, and again, this is not the end all be all of her statements, and there's other things she said, and we can look at those. But I feel like there needs to be another piece of solidarity that she mentions. Like when I want to support all Americans, and I represent Americans by being the first trans woman in Congress, first trans person in Congress, and that is not something that we should shy away from. And yet we are being told by centrists and Republicans, but by centrists, that this is something we should back away from, that we cannot walk and chew gum, that identity politics can't be radical, that we cannot be intersectional. It's either class or race. It's the age-old debate on the left, people. If you're just joining us, welcome to hell. It never ends. No, it's race. No, it's class. No, it's gender. No, it's class. It's both. It's all. It's everything. Like, and you know what it is? It's so hypothetical. Like, and that's, I think, why I like the response from Sarah. And I don't think we should, hound her for not saying the thing that we want her to say, is because she's taking a step back and she's not making it about herself. And that, I think, is a really key point. And there's a difference between people who are, whether it's in the media, whether it's what I do, whether it's a politician, whenever somebody makes an issue about themselves, it shows a small-mindedness, and that is really, really revelatory. And the right does this all the time, and that's not a winning strategy. They win despite that, right? But when they make it just about their own grievance, that is the height of grievance politics, and nobody likes that because it doesn't speak to anybody. Here, let's listen to what she had to say on MSNBC here.
Look, this is a weird and bizarre obsession with trans people on the part of the Republican Party. And I agree with Republican governors who, when presented with the spate of anti-LGBTQ bills passed in state legislatures across the country, said these are solutions in search of a problem. And that's what we have to be crystal clear about moving forward. Because whenever you see a politician or a political party focus in on an issue that impacts a handful of people in a handful of places, you have to ask yourself why. And the answer to that is they are trying to distract. They are trying to distract from what they are actually doing. And over the next 4 years, every single time we see any member of the Trump-Vance administration talk about trans people, talk about immigrants, talk about Muslims, talk about any vulnerable group in this country, look what they're doing with their right hand. Because I can guarantee you at that same moment, they are working to pick the pockets of American workers. They're working to fleece seniors by privatizing Social Security and Medicare. They're working to undermine the critical programs and benefits that Americans of every background and every political persuasion rely on to just get through the day. And that's what these efforts are. They are an effort to distract from the real issues that are plaguing this country and to distract from what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance will do with their nearly unchecked power.
All right, Congresswoman-elect.
So, look, okay, this is a good segue because Sarah McBride, again, just got elected. She's not even in power yet. So there she is saying it is a distraction. And she's also, again, we are in a backlash to women, to people of color, to trans people, because our issues are being blamed for a centrist ass fucking campaign with Liz Cheney ass strategy that absolutely fumbled this election, to say nothing of the fact that it was also, Biden not, passing the torch earlier, not having a primary and all that. So we are in this backlash moment. We are in a, narrative whirlpool about why, Democrats lost and it was this and it was really that they stood with trans people. No, they didn't. They didn't. I'm sorry, they didn't. And so she is responding to that reality, number one, and the refocus on okay, Democrats need to get back to bread and butter issues. And it's sort of, it's an inkling of who she is as a candidate and a legislator. I also want to hear how we protect trans people. I also want to hear we can do both things, or in Congress, this is what or something like I can take it. I am elected official now, or whatever. But what about young kids? What about teens? What about people who don't have the resources that I do? There's so many different ways to talk about this.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.